What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Welcome back into the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. Finally here. I believe this is episode 18, maybe episode 19 if I'm not mistaken. And it's been a while since we've done anything in this franchise, but nonetheless, let's get back into it. Unfortunately, I'm recording this video a second time through, and well past where I was when I recorded the video. So this video is actually being recorded after the next video. So unfortunately, I can't show you guys the live process that I did during that video, which was going through some of the playoff games and whatnot. But we'll recap you guys so you know where we're at, why we're at where we're at, and what we're looking to do as we move forward. So first and foremost, you'll see on the screen here that we finished 2023, our second year, at 108-54. Yes, that win total is super inflated. A lot of that is actually simulation wins, believe it or not. We got favorable results in way more games than I think we should have. Ultimately, we went on to win our first postseason series that we've had within this franchise, which was fantastic, very exciting, in a 3-game sweep of the Diamondbacks. We went on to the NLCS to play the Dodgers, and ultimately I felt strongly that in Season 2 we shouldn't be going to a World Series. I felt strongly that we are not a comparative team to the Dodgers quite yet, and therefore what I did was I simulated that series live against the Dodgers, and we ended up losing that series to the Dodgers, unfortunately, but to be expected, so that in year 3 we could gear up to increase the payroll and put a team out there that is competitive for a World Series. However, along the way we made a couple of moves that I wanted to update you guys on, and unfortunately I'm not going to get to show you everything in the amount of detail that I wanted to the last time, but I'll get to show you what I was talking about. First and foremost, with the roster, we traded Cole Tucker away for a low-end shortstop prospect to have on our roster for future years. We've now transitioned him over to second base to fill a need in our roster going into our 3rd season. So ARTEAGA was the player that we were able to get back, 21 years old now, 59 overall C potential. That's about what I felt Cole Tucker was worth at that point after multiple failed attempts with him. And I believe we left off in maybe the month of July, maybe the month of June. So this happened, before the trade deadline, of course. We traded away. We reduced Cole Tucker's development finally, and we traded him away to a team that could utilize him and potentially give him some more opportunity to develop his skills. So we brought in ARTEAGA. Not really a big move for us, but something that is certainly worth noting, that we did finally move on from Cole Tucker after his final attempt that we gave him with the Major League roster. And then beyond that, we decided to go out and grab Austin Meadows. Austin Meadows has been absolutely fantastic for us since we brought him to the team, and I wanted to explain this in as detailed of a way as I could. The trade to trade away Austin Meadows left me feeling sick for the Pirates, because ultimately, I thought we were getting Chris Archer back for 2 prospects in our system to be named later that weren't going to be our top prospects at the time. And when the trade came down, they ultimately said Austin Meadows was the player that we were sending in the trade, and it was just mind-boggling to me that they would send both Shane Baz and Austin Meadows for Chris Archer. It just didn't make any sense. And so Austin Meadows had been on the trade block in this franchise like every single day since we started the franchise, and it was basically taunting me to the point where I decided, you know what, we're fixing this mistake that the Pirates did. And this is something I wish they would do in real life sometimes. Admit that they were wrong and fix the wrong that they made. They've been struggling with corner outfields for how long now? And Austin Meadows would have been that player for them. He would have at least been a constant and would have had power that they just don't have on the team right now. So we went out and fixed that. We brought him in, and he did fantastic for us. On the season combined, he hit 32 home runs, batted .262. For us, he played fantastic, and he was a key reason why we won the playoff series that we won. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to show you guys the box scores for those games, but the first game against the Diamondbacks, we went to 15 innings, and we won that game on a walk-off by Austin Meadows. bases, a walk-off home run. So that was huge. And then in the second game against the Diamondbacks in the playoffs, he was 3 for 3 or 3 for 4 with 3 home runs in that game. He was clutch in getting us our first postseason series win in this franchise, and the first postseason win for the Pirates in a long time. So that was absolutely massive for us. And just to update you on his rating, he came in at like an 87 A potential in the corner outfields, and he technically still is that if we move him around, but ultimately we decided to move him to center field because of what we're going to do with the roster. So that brings his rating down a little bit, but he's still going to play corner outfield for us, just a matter of, not really tanking his overall in order to keep him in that corner outfield spot type of thing. So we'll get more into that in the next video, but he was a massive pickup for us. In addition to that, we made a couple of other moves. So Daniel Vogelbach, who played fantastic for us, got a lot of trade interest at the trade deadline. So we moved on from Daniel Vogelbach, but we were able to get some nice players in return. Ultimately, we ended up with a couple of different prospects in this trade in the various moves that we did. But the one last thing that I want to update you guys on is in these combination of trades that we made, we were able to get Josh Lowe back in return from Tampa Bay. And he was, at the time, about a 75 overall A potential third baseman. What we decided to do was move him over to first base because his attributes are more of a power hitter. He's more akin to being a first baseman, and so he's a very solid first baseman. He actually developed well during the season, so he went up from like a 75A, where he must have been struggling on that team, up into the 80s on his own. So his rating for us is pretty solid, and he basically fills the void that Vogelbach left. He's just a little bit younger and has a little bit more potential development in him. So that's absolutely huge for us, and that's where we stand. This video is not going to be the longest update for you. It was a little bit longer when I could go through things live and show you them piece by piece, but unfortunately I have to record this a second time, so we're just going to make do with what we got, and we're going to keep moving. Hopefully you guys will look forward to the next episode, which again is already recorded and will be coming out soon. As always, leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe. I hope that you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.